Okay, good morning. So I think we have discussed vectors and we have also solved one example. Okay, and I think it's time now that we also start talking about the Newton's laws of motion and consequently the force. Okay, maybe we discussed a part of it. Let me begin from here. Okay, so what we want to now learn, okay, in simple words, is how, okay, how objects will move. So if object is stationary and it starts moving, some force is applied. That's what we say. Then we don't observe that objects always continue to move. First thing, okay, one of the thing is they don't always continue to move. Okay, they stop. So if they stop, then our intuition, okay, tells us that they stop because no more force is acting on them. Okay, but the actual reason is they stop because a frictional force acts upon them, and it affects the motion. Okay, it will reduce the motion in any object. Hmm? So what really we want to see is the change in the motion of objects. Okay, because very generally, okay, I can say that a object, okay, stationary object, I can say that it is moving with zero speed. Okay, so what we want to now know is how does its motion change. Okay, so if you say an object is moving at some 10 meters per second, just a number, and then it stops, that means it goes to something like this. Okay, this is another number. Okay, or maybe instead of saying completely stops, okay, it might have an intermediary speed, 7 meters per second. So here is something which matches our statement. There is a change in the motion. Okay, so if you suddenly push some object, and initially it has 10 meters per second, after some time its speed becomes 7 meters per second. Okay, then the change is because of some force. Okay, if there is no force, then there is no change in the motion of any object. This is how we will try to interpret. Gradually, from the 7 meters per second, the object will soon become 0 meters per second. Okay, then it will not move unless we apply some more force. So why I'm saying this is because generally we will say that a object stops moving because no force is applied on it. But how we should think of it correctly, okay, is that it stops moving because some forces act on it. Okay, and that forces we know are friction. Okay, need not always be friction. For example, if you apply force on an object and it starts moving, okay, somebody else can apply force in the opposite direction. Okay, and then also the object can start moving. So it is not necessary that friction is the force. Okay, all right, there was one person from here, he will push the object, and one person from here, he will push the object, then also the object will start moving. So it's not like it's just friction. Okay, so but the idea is if if a object stops moving, it is not like uh, there is no force acting on it. It stops because of some force. Okay, so with this, we'll start discussing. Okay. Then the question is, what do we mean by force? Okay, they can. Okay, so very simply, we said if you push, then that is a force. Okay, if you attach a spring to an object and you pull, that is also a force. Okay, there are forces in nature. It's gravitational force. Okay, Coulomb force. All right, then you can have force because of a spring. All right, so there can be various forces. Okay, and of course, something which we will deal with at all times. Okay, so all these are forces, and you can measure all of them in a unit called as Newton. Okay. Now here, if you look at this table, you will find um, some numbers given. Okay, like so it's always good to understand. Okay, because for example, if we say something like two apples, you know what is two apples. Okay, you can imagine immediately what is two apples. Okay, you can say dozen apples, you can imagine. Okay, or you can say 20 apples, you can imagine there are 20 apples. Okay, and there is something else you will understand here. If I tell you two apples and if I say 20 apples, you can gauge this 20 is much
हेलो
more.
सर।
Yes,
सर आवाज थोड़ा तेज कीजिए ना, स्लो आ रही है।
slow आ रही है.
Well, okay, I can keep the modem here. Maybe that is the fix.
पूरा गूंज रहा है एकदम, पूरा घरघरा रहा है।
एक मिनट मैं माइक्रोफोन लेके आता हूँ. Okay, is it a bit better now? Can you hear me now? Better? Hello, or can you not hear me at all? Am I audible now?
Sir, voice is not clear.
अभी भी क्लियर नहीं है. अच्छा, वॉइस क्लियर नहीं है, ये नेटवर्क का प्रॉब्लम है कि मैं धीरे बोल रहा हूँ, ऐसा कुछ प्रॉब्लम है?
वॉइस गड़बड़ा करके आ रही है। नेटवर्किंग इशू नहीं है सर।
नेटवर्क इशू नहीं है, माइक्रोफोन टाइप का इश्यू है क्या? Okay, so there is somebody says voice is clear. Okay, so is it all right now? Shall I begin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the idea is we can gauge, we can understand what is 2 apples, 20 apples, okay, or 1 dozen apples, and so on. Similarly, we should be able to understand what is 1 Newton of force. Okay, and you will find here on the screen here there are so many numbers. Okay, gravitational force is so much, thrust of so much, weight is so much, and so on. But you can do an experiment and find out what is like something like 1 Newton. For example, if I write 1 Newton, okay, and if I write mg, okay, all right, you see these numbers we know. 1 Newton is like, let's say m into, let us say this is 9.8, okay, meters per second square. Okay, and now this left side here, this is something which you know, but I'm just reminding you, kilogram meters per second. Okay, this is something which you know, Newton's written like this. Okay, take a couple of seconds to understand this. Now, if I get rid of this m and this second square, then I end up with m equal to 1 upon 9.8. And let us continue this habit. Okay. And now what do I get? Let us do a small calculation. We have 1, 9 point, so 0.102. Let us write this number. 0.102 kg. Okay. Now, if I write this m equal to 0.102 kg, okay, and I can now write this as, so here is something which can tell us what is 1 Newton. So suppose you take 100 grams, approximately 100 grams of some object, है ना? या हम लोग काफी चीजें खरीदते हैं ना, बिस्किट खरीदते हैं, या we purchase some powder, okay, or some snacks which is packed in 100-gram packet. Okay, so if you hold that 100-gram packet in your hand, okay, the earth will pull it down by 1 Newton, है ना? हमने यही कैलकुलेट किया, 1 न्यूटन फोर्स, ओके, और अर्थ उसको अट्रैक्ट कर रहा है. ओके, तो हमने फाइंड आउट किया कि अगर 1 न्यूटन फोर्स से अट्रैक्ट कर रही है अर्थ, तो उसका मास कितना होगा? उसका मास हमको मिला है अराउंड 100 ग्राम्स. सो इफ यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज 1 न्यूटन ऑफ फोर्स, you can take 100 grams of any object. ओके, बिस्किट का पैकेट रहता है, चॉकलेट रहता है, 100 ग्राम्स में, या अपना फोन का भी वेट लिख के देते हैं. ओके, लेकिन अभी फोन बड़े है ना, तो 150-200 ग्राम कर, लेकिन 200 ग्राम का अगर फोन रहेगा ना, तो यू विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज 2 न्यूटन. Okay, so the idea is we should, whenever we get these numbers, the force is 3 newtons, 4 newtons, okay, or यहाँ पे कैसे लिखे 10 raised to 22 newtons, we should be able to have some imagination of how big or how small, okay, this force is. Okay, just reading a number is not going to help. All right, so if you want to understand what is 1 newton, you can take, so anytime you go to a shop, anytime you can do this experiment, you'll find, oh, this is 100 grams ka packet mila hai. So if you hold that 100 grams, you will understand, look, this is a force of 1 newton. Okay, this is very important for you to understand. All right, so then you can think of what these numbers are. Okay, I will agree, it's very, very difficult to understand what is 10 raised to 22 newton. Fine, okay, but at least the forces around us, we should be able to understand how much force is acting on us. Okay, so for example, if you hold an object of 1 kg, then you now know that the force is approximately 10 newtons. Okay, 5 kg object if you hold, okay, you know that the force is how much. Okay, so this is something which you should understand. Okay, so 1 kg is like holding 10 newtons approximately. Okay, so you can now find a difference. You can hold 100 grams and then you can hold 1 kg, and then you will know, okay, how much is the difference in 10 newtons, 20 newtons. Okay, all right, so some understanding of how much, what these numbers mean physically is very, very important. Okay, so sometimes you can take this small activity, think about it. Okay, all right, okay, fine. Now here, if you look at these nice photographs, okay, here let's magnify them. They've given you some example, like this is a force, pushing is force, pulling force. Okay, then of course uh, I did not mention here that one of this normal reaction. Okay, for example, if we keep an object on a table, then we'll immediately have to agree that Earth exerts a force on it, mg. Now the question is, why this object does not move down? Okay, then we say it does not move down because the table exerts a force, and that force we call as a normal reaction. Why we are mentioning this here? Because when we have to calculate the effect of forces, normal reaction also is a part of the calculation. Okay, normal reaction is also a part of the calculation. So you should know that an object which, whenever an object will touch a surface, okay, there will be normal forces. Both the objects will exert these forces on each other. For example, if you have an object and if you press an object against the wall, okay, then you are applying a force F. Okay, you are actually doing this push. Okay, but now of course you will not be able to push the wall usually है ना, दीवार के तरफ धकल रहे, तो the wall does not move back. So we have to say why it does not move back, because it exerts equal and opposite force F. So this normal reaction will enter the calculation. Therefore, this normal reaction should also be something which you keep in mind. Other thing, they have shown this very nice figure here. You will find that this is not vertical. Normal reaction is not supposed to be vertical. It is supposed to be perpendicular to the surface. So if the surface is like this, then it will be along the direction perpendicular to this surface. Okay, that's one of them. Then of course there is friction. Now there may be many questions. Okay, why there is frictional force? But there are many reasons for frictional force. Okay, some of them are to do with adhesion, some are to do with surface smoothness, whether the surface is smooth or it is not smooth, many things. Okay, but the important thing is this friction will enter the calculation. Okay, and then of course the tension, that is pulling force. You should not think that this force here and this force here are different. Okay, they are the same forces. Okay, right? That- because it pulls. Okay, for example, usually tension is mentioned in these conditions. You suspend a object, okay, and then you say there is tension in the string. Actually the string is pulling the object up, you know, against gravity. So it's it's pulling only. Okay, I mean tension force is a force which is because of this. Okay, and the other thing is usually tension will be in some string. Okay, of course ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि objects are always suspended by string. It can also happen that objects are suspended by chain. You know, anything. All right. So it's not just string. It can be a chain. It can be a wire. You know, you must have done experiments maybe some time ago that you can suspend things by metal wires and so on. Okay. So then of course gravity is there. Okay. So they have given some forces. Now um, the thing is like for example we have drawn this diagram here, and now you can say there is a force of tension because of the string, there is a force because of gravity, and now the question will be find out the result of these forces. What is the result of these two forces acting on the object? Okay, so now we have done this simple thing of replacing the string, okay, by a chain. Really speaking, it will not change the problem. The tension because of the chain, there is gravitational force, and your question will be, okay, tell us what is the result of these forces. It is not necessary that these two forces only act on the object. Okay, you can push the object like this on this very first page. This, okay, somebody is pushing, some force is applied. What is the effect of this force? All right. So we have to find out the effect of forces on a object. Okay, and this is done by what we call as superposition, because one force acts, then another force acts, and then the resultant force will cause motion. Finding this resultant is saying like what is the superposition of these forces. Okay, so we have done this already. We have done superposition of vectors, or we have done finding resultant of vectors. I will just bring this. Yeah, we spend time here on this. So we did superposition of vectors. Okay, now the superposition of vectors you can replace by saying superposition of forces. Okay, so if you say there are two forces F1 and F2 acting, then you have to find out the resultant of the force. Okay, and the method is the same. Okay, we will be doing this. It's not like you have to remember from that one example. We'll be doing number of examples and then try to find out. Okay, so many number of forces can be applied, but 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 suppose you apply a force like this, then we expect, okay, the object will start moving like this. Okay, if you apply a force, for example, in this direction and no other force, gone, only one force here. Okay, then we expect, okay, the object will start moving like this, right? Now if you apply two forces like this and this, then we don't expect object to move like this. Okay, we expect that these two forces will superpose, okay, to give you a resultant. Okay, and it will be like only the resultant is acting on the object. Okay, that is important. Okay, so whenever you see many forces acting on any object, you have to find out the resultant of the force. And whether there is one force or two or three or 100 or 200, you have to first find out the resultant. And that resultant will give you the net motion of the object. Hmm? So even if there are many forces, if you superpose, it will be like one single force. Okay. And this principle is called as a superposition of forces. Alright. Okay. So this is uh, something we can use. We have actually used it. You have used it many times. So we are just going to review it. All right. Let's see whether there is an example which allows us to understand this. Okay. Now, for example, we have an object which is kept here. Okay. Right? I'm going to the example instead of reading this because I'll be saying the same things which are written here. So we can have an object. If I just keep an object like this, okay, on the table, and we are on the earth, if I say, okay, what are the forces acting on this object? First, immediately should come to your mind, any object on the surface of the earth is going to experience this force, whether it is a square block, round, particle, whether it is one single molecule. That single molecule, that single atom is going to experience mg towards the center of the earth. Okay. Now, if a force acts on an object, at the beginning of our discussion today, I said it will change the motion of the object. So, first question will come to our mind: why isn't this object moving? Okay, I've kept this object on the table. Gravitational force is acting on it. Why is the object not moving? The answer is we have to consider. The answer is we have to consider the normal reaction also. Okay. All right. Sometimes there is disturbance. Okay. So there is a normal reaction also. Okay. So the resultant will be mg plus n equal to the resultant. Okay. Now if you do some substitutions, all right, or you would say, okay, what is the resultant force? I would say, okay, you can find out if you write mg plus n is equal to, okay, and now the question is, are we able to find out the acceleration? Okay, and acceleration is the change in the motion of the object. If the object is not moving, then this term becomes equal to 0, and we end up with something like this. Okay, which we should learn to interpret. We see a minus sign here, which indicates that these two forces, which are the two forces here? Gravity and normal reaction. We immediately understand because of the minus sign that they are oppositely directed. Okay, so it would have been better to write this as vectors. Okay, you will find that they are oppositely directed. Second thing you will realize immediately is that they are equal in magnitude. Okay, so we have done something called a superposition of forces already now. We have superposed the two forces expected on an object kept on a table. Alright. Now the thing is, they are not the only forces that should act. There can be other forces. Okay. For example, if you keep an object on the surface, you can push the object. Okay, so that you will have N, you will have mg. Let us say you have some force F. Now you can find out what is the resultant. So it's easy to do that. You can do R equal to mg, one force, plus N, another force, plus F. Okay. Now if you want to do this, you can use this idea here. This mg is minus N. I can bring that here. And as a minus N plus F. Okay, obviously. Fine. The resultant force is just the F. Okay. See, this is because we know something about mg and n. All right. Okay. So it tells us that the object is not going to move along mg. It is not going to move along n. It is going to move along
Sir.
F. Yes.
सर अगर ऑब्जेक्ट का साइज अगर अलग हो तो चेंजेस आएंगे क्या रिजल्टेंट फोर्स वगैरह में?
हाँ, हमने अभी तक ऑब्जेक्ट अलग अलग साइज के ड्रॉ किए हैं, शायद कभी कभी शेप भी अलग हो गया है, लेकिन ऑब्जेक्ट के मास पे ये फोर्स का असर डिपेंड होता है. सपोज आपने 1 न्यूटन फोर्स अप्लाई किया, ओके, और ऑब्जेक्ट इज m1 एंड a1. ओके, 1 न्यूटन फोर्स अप्लाई किया, ऑब्जेक्ट का मास इज m2 एंड a2. You will find A1 is equal to 1 Newton upon M1. A2 is equal to 1 Newton upon M2. तो जो मैं कह रहा था कि फोर्स का ऑब्जेक्ट के मोशन पे क्या असर होता है. ओके, हमने फोर्स तो दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट पे सेम लगाया है, लेकिन एक पे असर हुआ है A1, एक पे असर हुआ है A2. ये दोनों इफेक्ट सेम है क्या? नहीं, बिकॉज m1 एंड m2 आर नॉट इक्वल. ओके, तो आपको अभी समझ में ये आएगा कि फोर्स का असर मास पे डिपेंड करता है. अगर मास बहुत कम है तो इट विल हैव मोर इफेक्ट. अगर मास बहुत ज्यादा है, मीन्स ये m2 इज वेरी हेवी. ओके, समझो m1 इज लाइक, लेट मी राइट, इज लाइक 5 kg एंड m2 is like 50 kg. We'll immediately realize that this looks like 1 upon 5 and this looks like 1 upon 50. Okay, so it is not depending on the shape of the object, it depends upon the mass of the object, the effect of the force, as you wanted to understand. Okay, it does not depend upon the shape, it depends upon the mass of the object. Okay. Of course, there is this idea that if you have a square object kept here and if you have a sphere, okay, और a square object को suppose आप लोग ने एक push किया, यानी kick मारा, तो और same kick हमने इस पे लिया, तो you will find that the effect is different. Okay, but you can understand why the effect is different. The effect is different because there is a question of friction, which you can find out is more or less on these objects. Okay, so that you can find out why the object moves faster, slower, because there can be more or less friction on these objects. Okay, so generally, but if there is no friction, suppose there is no friction at all, ये दोनों चीजें समझो space में है. Okay, it's very important to understand these things. समझो ये दोनों चीजें space में है. Okay, let's draw in space. This is in space, this is in space. Now there is no friction. So if you apply F, same force, and the masses are equal, then it does not matter. Okay, what is the shape of this object? It will always have an effect proportional to its mass. Okay, or inversely proportional to its mass. That time ऐसा नहीं होगा कि ये sphere ज़्यादा दूर जाएगा, ये square दूर नहीं जाएगा. Okay, but when it is on the surface, that time yes, because friction, okay, is very less on a sphere. The sphere by definition will have a contact only at one point, whereas a block will have contact over this surface area. Okay, for a sphere, the point of contact is just a point. Okay, so the friction will be very less. That's why it will roll, go very far. But if it is in space, suspended, okay, that is why it does not matter if you make a pendulum which is made with square or with sphere. You can try this as long as this length is L, this length is L, and the mass remains the same. You will find that they have the same time period. That means the effect of gravitational force does not depend upon the shape. So gravity is a force, and your question is whether the force effect of force depends upon shape. The simple answer to the question is you do this experiment. Pendulum with square, pendulum with sphere. You'll find that both of them have the same time. Which means the effect of the force only depends upon the mass of the object. Okay, so you can do many such experiments. Okay, to find out whether the effect depends upon the shape. Okay, and you will find that it does not depend upon the shape. It depends upon the mass of the object. Okay, is this fine?
सर
हाँ बोलो.
सर सपोज दो दो क्यूब है, एक का सेंटर ऑफ मास सेंटर में और दूसरे का थोड़ा राइट शिफ्ट हुआ है, तो दोनों का
हाँ.
दोनों लेकिन दोनों का मास सेम है, तो अगर एक्सेलरेट किया तो दोनों का फोर्स सेम ही आएगा क्या?
अच्छा, अभी न्यूटन्स लॉस के बारे में ये भी एक इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आपने पूछा है. अगर मैंने ऑब्जेक्ट ऐसा कंसिडर किया, ओके, और अभी मैंने फोर्स यहाँ अप्लाई किया, ओके, सेकेंड केस में सेम ऑब्जेक्ट इज एग्जैक्टली द सेम, और ड्राइंग एग्जैक्टली सेम नहीं आ रहेगा, बट सपोज देयर आर एग्जैक्टली द सेम ऑब्जेक्ट, सेम फोर्स. अभी हमें ये भी समझ में आएगा कि ये जो मैंने दो अलग पोजीशंस पे फोर्स अप्लाई किया है, okay, for example in one place I have put the force on the corner and I have put the force here. Okay, we all realize now that इसका असर अलग होने वाला है. समझो ये टेबल की बात कर रहे हैं हम, ऊपर से टेबल देख रहे हैं. अगर यहाँ से, अगर इस केस में क्या होगा, टेबल ऐसे घूमेगा, इस केस में क्या होगा, टेबल सीधा चला जाएगा. दिस इज करेक्ट व्हाट यू आर आस्किंग. ये बात में देयर इज ए पॉइंट हियर. ओके, लेकिन we are having a advantage in this semester, and that advantage is we are going to deal with what are called as point particles. Okay, at the moment we are going to deal with point particles. Okay, so I could have said this in the beginning. If I had said this in the beginning, then this discussion of the pendulum, okay, and that does not arise because we are going to deal with point particles. If you consider particles which have some dimension, like spheres or cubes or rectangular blocks, then it depends on where you apply the force. Okay, how the object will move. So to answer your question, this means, okay, in this case I am applying the force away from the center of mass. In this case, I am applying the force on the center of the mass. So yes, there will be a difference in the effect, difference in the motion of the particle when you apply force at different points with respect to the center of mass or center of gravity. Okay, but we are saved. We don't have to worry so much. Sooner or later we have to worry, but at the moment we don't have to worry because we are going to consider point particle. Okay, so even when you studied your simple pendulum, you did this. You took the length L, then you took the radius of the bob R, and you said that the actual length of the pendulum is L plus R, the length of the string plus the radius of the bob. Why you took the radius of the bob? Because that gives you the center of mass here. Okay, so that's how we study initially. Later on, we have to deal with the real particles. That time things become a bit more detailed. That's how it is. Okay, all right. Huh. So now what next? Acha, by the way, next week is exam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will give a set of sample questions 1 or 2 days on Google Classroom. So if you study those sample questions, those questions will be based on our discussion so far in the book. Okay, something about superposition, something about vector, something about finding components. I will give questions. Similar questions will come in the exam. Okay. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे हमने एक न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व किया है ना, इतना बड़ा न्यूमेरिकल तो एमसीक्यू में आई विल नॉट आस्क, बट आई कैन आस्क यू if this is the angle which this vector makes, then what is the value of the x component? Okay, what is the value of the y component? That kind of questions will come, and you will find it in that they match the sample question. Okay, so regarding exam and syllabus and the type of questions, I will put up material on the Google Classroom. So just be sure to see the Google Classroom in 1 or 2 days. Maybe in 2 days you can see it. Huh? Okay.
So the topic which we discussed today will also be there for exam.
It will be there. Okay, and questions related to that, sample questions related to today's topic will also be put up in the material. Okay, I will exactly tell you which page numbers are there, which section is there. That also I will put in the material. Okay. And if you want to ask me something about the exam, you can talk to me now. I should have asked you 5 minutes earlier, but the teacher is not yet here. You can ask me now. Anything you want to ask about the exam. Sorry, I should have given you time for that earlier. But now I can talk. Bolo, any doubts about the exam? I will give you exactly which pages are coming. Okay, and I give sample questions so that you don't have to get so much worried about the exam. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right, so now you should take your break for the next teacher. Will there be a lecture now in this classroom? Next teacher
Yes,
will
sir.
come with
After at 11.
okay. So I will wait here till the next teacher comes. All of you who want to take break can take a break. Those of you who want to ask the doubts, I am here till the next teacher comes.